So today we're creating a forgiveness box. And just as a reminder, forgiveness is not for the other person, right? Forgiveness is for yourself. So you forgive the other person, not because they've apologized or acknowledged the pain they've caused, but because you deserve that peace. I do include a quote by Noah Zebian that says exactly that. Today I decide to forgive you, not because you apologized or because you acknowledged the pain you caused me, but because my soul deserves peace. So you can add that quote or another quote like that to your forgiveness box. So I'll switch over to the other camera and we'll get started. So today we're working on our forgiveness box. And the first thing we're going to do is write our letter of forgiveness. So this letter, you want to really pour out your emotion, how you're feeling, why you're forgiving. It's not about them. It's not, saying what they did was okay. It's just acknowledging that you need to let go and you need to be free of this hurt. Okay, so you can use a plain white paper. I'm going to use this pretty paper because I feel like this is for me. Forgiveness is for me, and so I'm going to do this for me. So I'm going to use this pretty paper and write my letter of forgiveness. And you write it however you want to write it. I'm going to So what I've done here is I've written a note to this person and just told them that I am writing this to allow myself the freedom to forgive, and I am not accepting their behavior as anything but atrocious. However, I need to forgive them for my own self and put them out of my daily thoughts. And so I don't want to hang on to that any longer, and I need to be free from that. And so I acknowledge the hurts and forgive you for my own sake. And so I'm going to now just fold that up. And there's a couple of things you can do with this letter. You can put this into the forgiveness box that we're going to make, or you can burn it and then just write the person's name on a piece of paper and put it in the box. You can bury it, but you want to be done with this person and the amount of energy that you're putting into them. So I'm going to put this one into my forgiveness box for now, and then I'll see. I might have to take it out occasionally, read it. I may feel the need to do a bit more on it, because forgiveness is not always just a one step, right? It takes time, but this is the first step. So now we'll start to build our box. We'll decorate our box. Okay, so my letter is written, and now I'm going to start the decoration of my box. So I didn't have a jewelry box or some little box that I could find. I'm sure I must, but what I have is this binder clips box. This is going to work just fine, but I'm going to start by painting it with gesso and letting that dry before I decorate it. I'm just going to lay it like this. Gesso's a good base because it kind of has a good tooth to it. It sticks to most things. You could also cover your box with paper. You could make your box out of paper or cardboard or cardstock. That dry. Okay, so the box is mostly dry on the outside now, and now I'm just going to add a bit of gesso to the inside so that we get it fully covered so that I can decorate it, because you want to decorate it inside and out so that you can really make it a special little box. Gesso's nice because it dries quickly, but it also dries matte, and then it's got a little bit of tooth to it. And by tooth, I mean it's got a little bit of texture, as in it's not smooth, and so it's really good for gluing things or adding paint. Yeah, I'll have to fix that little rip. But it also will help make the box just a little bit stronger. So now I'm going to let that dry. Okay, so this is mostly dry now. I'm going to actually just put a little piece of tape right here, because this piece I should have fixed before I... All right. Okay. In, I think it's Japan, they actually fix cracks and things like that with gold, because scars are beautiful. And so I'm just going to a little more, just to get it right to that corner. But I kind of like that idea that the box is flawed. So when we're doing our decorating our box, we are putting the thoughts of forgiveness into it. So you're thinking about the person, but you're thinking about the forgiveness, not getting caught up in the anger. You want to get caught up in the forgiveness. So you're just going to decorate your box however you want to decorate it. I think. that dry now. Today I decided to forgive you, not because you apologized or because you acknowledged the pain you caused me, but because my soul deserves peace. So now I have created my forgiveness box. And once it's created, put my letter inside, seal that up and put it someplace safe. And you can revisit this time and again. You can, like I said in the beginning, burn the letter after it's been in the box and you've been able to revisit it and decide that you are finally there. You can burn it, or you can burn it right away and just put the person's name in the box. Try to only do one at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself with multiples. You may want to do more than one box, but try to have only one person per box. You can reuse it when you're done with this person or this wrong that they did, maybe not the person per se, but the wrong that they did. And so it's again about the process, right? It's about the process of creating the box in forgiveness, of writing the letter, and then allowing yourself the peace of forgiveness. Hey. So we've now created our forgiveness box. And I just want to remind you that any box, as you saw, I used a little box that came with clips in it. You can use any box you have, a jewelry box, or I don't know. There's so many different types of boxes that you can even make your own. You can make your own. So I didn't go through step by step the showing you of the box because I want you to make your own box, right? So you saw there I used a little bit of paint, which is actually Liquitex acrylic gouache, which is very similar to the watercolor gouache, except for it's got a lot more pigment to it, and it's not watercolor, it's acrylic. But it's got a matte base. Color is amazing, so you don't need much. And I didn't even, put it on everywhere. I made a mess of myself. I then put up on ripped paper. I added a little bit of a marker to it and blended that in a little bit. And the Faber-Castell markers are amazing for that, these Pitt pens, because they go on kind of like a water-soluble marker, but they're permanent afterwards. So you can still, while they're still wet, you can play with them a little bit. You can smudge them, you can put some water on and move it around. But once it's dry, it's permanent. So those are great pens for that. I do a lot of smudging with those pens. And then I added some gold Liquitex acrylic ink. And then I splattered with the white. I went in and wrote my quote on a piece of paper and then added that as well. I probably could have done that beforehand. And then I just wanted it to be noticeable to me, right? I wrote forgive on the front. You may have much nicer handwriting than I do, but that's not what it's about. And so I just wanted to make it somewhat pretty, if you will, to put the energy into it. So we don't want to put the anger into our box, right? We want to put the energy of our forgiveness into the box. And then I'm going to put my letter inside. And the box allows us to go back and look at it again and again if we need to. If we need to revisit it, if we need to sort of touch on those feelings again, are we really forgiving, or is there still some residual there? And if there is, you might want to write more, right? You can also burn this letter right away if you're afraid of somebody reading it, or just the energy of burning a letter is amazing, right? When you get out all that emotion and then you burn it and release it all, it's an amazingly cathartic exercise. So you may want to burn it. I would probably burn mine after I've had it in my box for a while and I can revisit it if I need to, but you can definitely burn it now and then just put the person's name into the box on a piece of paper. I wouldn't, like I mentioned, I wouldn't recommend doing more than one person per box, but you can do more boxes. If you have a lot of boxes, might be more work that needs to be done than just forgiveness. And I'm not saying that you might not have a lot of people that have wronged you, but how you're hanging on to it may need more work than just a forgiveness box, right? So I didn't mean to imply that there was something wrong with you for that. There just might be deeper work that needs to be done if you have a lot of forgiveness boxes that you're building. So again, if you need anything, if you have any questions or anything at all, please let me know, larissa@creativeyou.ca. And I hope you enjoyed this. I would love to see them, put them up on our Facebook page, Creative You. And I will see you again next week. Bye for now. Do you listen to the Creative Soul Healing Podcast? Why not? That's where I interview creatives, healers, and people who have healed with the help of creativity. Each week, a new interview. Learn what people think of healing with creativity. Click the link below to listen or watch the latest episode. You can also find us on all the popular podcast platforms, such as iTunes and Spotify. Check it out today.